Well, that's a good question. One of my followers says here the government could shut down prostitution in Colombia. Why don't they? Well, I have covered this before, but in case you haven't seen it, and for the new people coming to my channel, I am a Colombian YouTuber. I talk about Colombia, people who want to travel there. I've been dealing with different types of groups of people. The latest group is called Passport Bros, but I have also dealt with bad tourists. Some people call them ugly Americans and stuff like that. There's different variations. So we're going to discuss this particular subject. The Colombian government actually has made prostitution legal because they see it as a form of protection, for the adult services workers. Because I'm not just going to say women. There are prostitutes in Colombia who are also men, and there are prostitutes who are also transgender people. And in the Colombian government, the constitution recognizes that they have dignity, they have respect, and should not face abuse. The reason why it was made legal wasn't for the benefit of the man or the tourist. It was made for the benefit of the adult services worker in order to protect them. I am one of those people to support that because I'm not sure if you noticed, people have marched the streets. They have, spoken to the Congress and the legislative branch, and they really have tried. And to this day, people still march for better protections because I believe that they deserve to not be discriminated against, that they should not face abuse such as violence. And people don't understand that even though it is legal, certain things are still not illegal. Exploitation of minors, exploitation of adults because adults can be exploited, human trafficking, forced labor, and all those type of things. I also recognize that making it illegal is not going to change the abuse by certain foreign groups, and including local men that still do certain things. For example, if you look at the United States, most of the United States, except certain parts of Nevada, is still illegal. And doing a quick research on Google, there's I think it's 1.5 million adult services work in the United States. That's more than a lot of Colombian cities. Then some of the biggest Colombian cities like Cartagena or even Barranquilla, which is like a little bit over 1 million. If you go to Armenia, if you go Pereira, not including the metropolitan areas, like that's more than the entire population of entire cities in Colombia. And that doesn't stop child exploitation. It's illegal in Thailand. How many people in Passport Bros and sex tourists and expats go to Thailand to engage in the oldest form of work in the entire world? You know what? I never believed that was the oldest form of work. The oldest form of work is finding food. I consider that the oldest form of work. And just because something is legally acceptable doesn't mean it's morally acceptable. But yeah, I do believe in the women and men and transgender people deserve the right to live a dignified life because they're not hurting people. The problem is that these certain people from the outside and local men cannot control their abusive behavior. And one of the things that you see me complaining about is for some reason people tend to think that I complain about prostitution in Colombia. I'm not complaining about that. I'm complaining about the men. Colombians are complaining because they do certain things that are disrespectful to local culture. Let me give you a perfect example. All right, Holy Week is a very important week in Colombia, right? Like I said, I have gone with my friends. I have taken my friends. I have a friend from Samoa that I took him to Colombia. I have friends from Nigeria. I've taken a lot of people to Colombia, and yeah, it's gone fine. But like I said, at one time I was at a restaurant, and it was the middle of the day in Cartagena, inside the walled city. I took a friend of mine to eat there because he wanted to eat some burgers. We got some burgers, and Passport Bro shows up with these women. He has them twerking and everything else, and the owner is talking underneath his breath. Who the heck do these foreigners think they are to mistreat us like that? Don't you see that there's women walking around? And he pointed to outside, and I see women walking around in strollers with little kids, and the little children are saying that. And there's like a church around the corner. I see nuns walking around, priests walking around. Don't you guys have any self-respect? It's not only the act of prostitution itself, is what these people bring along with themselves. Unfortunately, they're not bringing the best. Like an orange tyrant king said that, right? Having intercourse on balconies, disrespecting the local culture by throwing money at them. In Colombian society, throwing money is considered disrespectful. Let me give you another perfect example. My brother, who is very Americanized, and my brother is not like me. I actually want tourists to come to Colombia. My brother doesn't want any tourists to come to Colombia. So he stopped in Medellin because they say, hey, you should check it out. It's really nice, because we're not paisas. We're Bajunos. We're from the Cauca Valley, which are a different ethnic group, a different geography location. So he goes and he goes there because he was dating a girl, and they go to Medellin, and he was at a coffee shop. And you saw a couple of guys who were passport bros, 100%. There's no doubt about it. They were talking about what women they're gonna get. They, oh, look at that one, look at that one, look at that one, and they all went to the coffee shop and they all crowded around the server, this little girl, and oh, look at her, look at her butt, look at her butt, and they were just standing like over her, towering over her, and she was sitting there like this, all scared, not knowing how to respond to them because she doesn't know what they're saying. Don't you think that's really weird? Standing over a person like that with a rape face, like old men huddled up and looking at her. Oh, look at her, look at her. You know, come on, have some self-respect. Have respect for the local culture. And I do hear a lot of local people who complain about things like this. You know, they'll be dismissive towards us. They won't, they will not, they will not engage in local culture. I actually saw a passport bro on TikTok on a live, and I actually called him out on it. And he goes, "I don't deal with the local culture. I don't care what they do," you know. And he says he doesn't participate in the festivities and everything else. And I keep telling people, each region of Colombia is a different culture. It is like a different country. Colombia is known as the land of the thousand rhythms. Literally, I've seen some estimates like 1007, 1009, 1029. There's different types of music, different rhythms. But you guys want to travel all the way to Colombia to go into a club and listen to your American music. Like, okay. And then they will say that they want to quote unquote look for a traditional wife. Whenever I hear a passport bro saying that they want to go to Colombia and find a traditional wife, this is what I think. Okay, these are traditional women, not the ones with the big boobs and the tattoos and the surgeries and stuff like that. I keep on telling people in Colombia we call them narco Barbies because these are the women that will be maintained and picked up by men of power and criminal elements. All right, these are traditional women. I have never seen a passport bro with a traditional woman like that. And there's plenty of them depending on which specific region. Once again, these are all the different regional accents, and this isn't a full map of Colombia, right? I'm from like right here in this area right here, Valle del Cauca. For the people who go to Medellin, they go up here, right? This is Paisa territory. And even some of the Paisa territory goes into part of the Northern Valley, parts of, I believe there's the Tolima province and everything else. Paisas are a culture. They're people, descendants of agricultural people. Do you think passport bros care about that? Do you think passport bro knows there's the different types of Colombian women? And this is my major gripe that I have with them. You only go there for prostitution. You lock yourself up in a hotel. And then you want to go, Colombian food is bland. There's no taste in their food. Have you been to the other parts of Colombia? This specific area here on the left side, all of this, and the upper right hand side is full of people of African descent, and they have a whole different way of cooking, Since I am from the valley, I have both vajuno from the valley and also influence from the Pacific. I said this before and I'll say this again, and I'm going to say in my next 3 videos, which I'm going to do next. I can take an Afro-Colombian from the Pacific coast and they will outcook anybody. But do you think these people know that? No. They lock themselves up in a hotel and they only go to the same 2 blocks every time they go to Medellin. And what do? They order the cheapest food. They don't know where to go. They order peasant food, and then they're complaining about everything else. They don't understand that each region is a separate culture, and that's what angers me. This is a plate my mom made yesterday. This is Bajuno, Valle Caucano from the Cauca Valley. All right, this is the food from the Pacific. You have Encocado de Jaiba, which is like crab cooked in coconut milk, and you have all these different types of seafood dishes. Do you think they understand that this exists? No, they don't. This is Basilia. I actually have a picture with her. I'm not going to look it up, but I have a picture with her, okay? She was named the #1 cook in all of Colombia. And unfortunately, she died. She died of cancer, okay? Jewel of the Pacific Coast. Jewel of the Andes. Jewel of Colombian cooking. All right, do you think passport bros know about her? No. And this is a very proud Afro-Black Colombian woman. And I took a picture with her and my mom. Do passport bros care about that? No. They want to find a white Colombian Latina because that's all they care about. God bless her. Like, she was very humble. So once again, why doesn't Colombia stop it? Because it's for the protection. It is the protection of adult services workers, and I am one that supports that. I'm not sure if you saw that the people were protesting in Medellin against foreign travelers who were looking for prostitutes. And guess what? Prostitutes were actually protesting themselves. And when they asked them, why are you protesting if you make money off of this? You know what the prostitutes saying? This is because we're tired of the abuse. This has nothing to do with prostitution. This has to do with abuse. Men, you need to take accountability for yourselves. Okay? You're starting to get on the nerves of people worldwide. Philippines, Thailand, Colombia, Brazil, we're all getting tired. And I make these videos because I don't want you guys to get hurt because Colombians can get violent. Once again, this is Ray Condor signing off.